Welcome to the Veteran Suicide Prevention Channel's Veteran News. My name is John Spahr, and I'll be bringing you news from around the world that applies to you, the military veterans and families of our nation. Now, this is a new concept and a new asset for veterans to keep informed about veteran news. You know, there's a lot going on in our country today, and there are constantly changes being made that affect our veterans. It will be my job to bring to light some of the things that are happening that can be important to you. We'll program several news stories each week of interest to veterans. They'll be available to watch 24 hours a day, so if you miss one, don't worry. You can always log in and find it again. Some of these stories will have to do with the entitlements that you receive by virtue of being a veteran. Other stories will come from Congress and the White House about new rules and laws proposed or enacted. Still other stories will be about veterans and how they are being successful in the civilian world. I look forward to visiting with you and encourage you to return frequently as we bring you the news for veterans on the Veteran Suicide Prevention Channel.
Welcome to the Veteran Suicide Prevention Channel. My name's Collin Hulbert, and I'm a veteran. I served 4 years in the Army active duty. I'm no longer in active duty, and I'm very happy. I'll be bringing you a number of sports stories as well as stories pertaining to veterans and their families as the year goes on. So stay tuned. Hopefully you'll find a story that has a positive impact on your life, or maybe just something that interests you. Have a great day.
The Department of Veterans Affairs is accepting applications for the 2015 National Veterans Wheelchair Games. Registration began in early January, and it will close on April 15th. The National Veterans Wheelchair Games is a sports and rehabilitation program for military service veterans who use wheelchairs for sports competition due to spinal cord injuries, amputations, or certain neurological problems. Every year, hundreds of disabled veterans travel from around the country to compete in the Games, which is the largest annual wheelchair sports event in the world. VA Secretary Robert McDonald said that the VA encourages all eligible veterans to take this opportunity to prove yet again that disability does not mean inability. Competitive events at the National Wheelchair Games include archery, basketball, bowling, softball, swimming, weightlifting, and a number of other events. Athletes compete in all events against others with similar athletic ability, competitive experience, or age. The 2015 National Veterans Wheelchair Games will take place in Dallas, Texas, from June 21st to the 26th, and they're co-sponsored by the VA and the Paralyzed Veterans of America, who have been partners in this annual event since 1985. For more information, please contact or visit www.wheelchairgames.org. These are truly amazing athletes.
I'm Collin Hulbert, and I have some NFL news for you. Welcome back to Veteran Suicide Prevention Channel. Try not to look away as my forehead could cause temporary blindness. They're calling it Deflategate. It's the freshest NFL scandal out there, and it's adding a little more fuel to the fire in this year's Super Bowl. In last week's AFC Championship matchup between the New England Patriots and the Indianapolis Colts, 11 of the 12 footballs allocated to the Patriots were later ruled to have been underinflated. Underinflating footballs makes the balls easier to throw and catch, especially in cold and wet conditions. No disciplinary action has been taken as of yet by the NFL. Though the Patriots seemed to struggle at times in the passing game, they had no problem running all over the Colts defense at a clip of 177 yards and 3 touchdowns in a 45-7 rout of the Colts. Though it's very likely the Patriots would have cruised to a victory without deflating footballs, this type of controversy is nothing new for the Patriots, who have been accused of nearly everything in the book at this point in order to gain a competitive advantage. Though we can only speculate as to how severe the punishment will be for the Patriots, this new controversy has done little to deflate the hype of the upcoming Super Bowl.
In news from Capitol Hill, Senate Veterans Affairs Committee leaders moved quickly on legislation to help prevent suicides among military veterans. The legislation, dubbed the Clay Hunt Suicide Prevention for American Veterans Act, or SAV, has broad support, and it passed the House last year. But it was blocked in the Senate by then Senator Tom Coburn of Oklahoma, who said it cost too much and duplicated other programs. The move infuriated backers of the bill and veterans organizations who see the tremendous need for such legislation. The legislation is named after a young Iraq veteran who took his own life. Well, Mr. Coburn is no longer in the Senate, and supporters of this legislation were quick to reintroduce it to the 114th Congress. This critical bill would begin to address the crisis of veteran suicides by providing an extra $100 million in funding for the Department of Veterans Affairs to hire more psychiatrists and psychologists and to boost online services already available. Major veterans groups, including the Veterans of Foreign Wars, AMVETS, and Disabled American Veterans, have thrown their support behind the measure. House Veterans Affairs Committee Chairman Jeff Miller of Florida, along with Representatives Tim Walz of Minnesota and Tammy Duckworth of Illinois, reintroduced the bill in the new Congress, and it passed the House easily. The Senate version of the SAV Act, Senate Bill 167, was reintroduced on January 13, 2015, by Senators John McCain of Arizona and Richard Blumenthal of Connecticut, and 18 co-sponsors. Well, the bill passed through the Senate Veterans Affairs Committee on January 21st, and it now goes to the Senate floor. The Veteran Suicide Prevention Channel strongly supports this legislation, and we will continue to report on it as it moves through Congress and to the White House.
Can I help you?
Just a cup of coffee, please.
Coming right up. Oh, there's no charge.
Thank you.
Here you go.
Thanks again.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your support.
Do you have a picture taken with the soldier? Can I take a picture?
Sure.
All right, smile. There you go.
Sir, my son would like to ask you a question.
Are you a hero too? That man said you were.
I just served as best I could.
Can we take a picture?
Sure.
All right, smile big. What do you say?
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your support.
Can I get you a refill?
Hi, I'm Collin Hulbert, and I have a very badly receding hairline, but I'm married, so it doesn't really matter. Now it's time for what's become a difficult subject as of late for Army service members like myself. Unless, of course, you don't really care, which is the excuse you'll get from nearly every soldier in the Army when the topic of the Army-Navy game is brought up. The game this past December marked the 115th time the two prestigious service academies faced each other on the football field, and for the 13th consecutive year, Navy beat Army. Now, to put that into perspective, Spy Game, starring Robert Redford and Brad Pitt, was number 2 in the box office, just behind Monsters, Inc. and Shrek. Ironically, Black Hawk Down was released later that month. There are actually high school students who don't remember the last time Army beat Navy. Now, I know it was a bitter pill to swallow, again, but Army had a chance to redeem itself on the hardwood earlier this month when the Navy men's basketball team traveled to West Point to face Army in the first of 2 matchups this season. Navy won again 75-66, but the horizon is pretty bright for Army. They're currently 12-6 on the season and have a good chance at winning the Patriot League this year and punching their ticket to the NCAA tournament. They currently sit just 2 games back from the league-leading Bucknell. Army will also have another chance to beat Navy on Saturday, February 7th at 2 p.m. in Annapolis.
Stars and Stripes recently reported that a county's Veterans Affairs director in Michigan resigned after emails were published in which he is shown to be demanding payment or other favors of veterans whom he had been helping with their health benefits. According to Stars and Stripes, in emails obtained by media outlets, the former Calhoun County Veterans Affairs Office Director asked veterans or their families for, quote, a few dead presidents or Christmas presents and other gifts from those seeking the department's help. In one of the emails dated October 20th, 2011, the director wrote about the hard work he'd done at his home for one veteran. He said, quote, we will discuss a gentleman's agreement to compensate for my personal time. He said, I have worked cases for veterans who reside outside Calhoun County over the past couple of years with the same kind of agreement. I will not gouge you like your Social Security lawyer. Perhaps 7 to 10% is typically the agreement. He also said, I have had veterans screw me over big time as well. Does this sound cool? And where is my Christmas present? Was written in all capital letters in one email in December of 2009. He also said in that email, just so you know, my wife and I like to go out for dinner every once in a while. Another one of the emails to the veteran read, I suppose now is as good a time as any to request 1 month truck payment as a confidential gentleman's agreement for a job well done. Well, now this director had been there for 15 years and has an annual salary of $64,351. And he resigned after a veteran's widow claimed he had shaken her down for $200 for the work he'd done on her husband's claim. The case has been turned over to the federal government for investigation, and the county has also opened up an investigation. These emails were sent out as recently as this past December. He had another one saying, when the decision comes back as a winner and you receive that big fat retroactive check, I need $1,600 to repair my transmission, and you are going to help me out. Deal? Well, fortunately, this sounds like a strong case against this guy. And that's this edition of Veteran News on the Veteran Suicide Prevention Channel. Thank you for visiting this channel. Tune in during the week for more news that applies to you, our veterans, and their families. I'm John Spahr.